All right, everybody, welcome back. Our next guest speaker is Soro Somhain Irena Osborne Crowley. Let me tell you a little bit about her from her bio. She's a celebrity esoteric expert devoted to Hermetic Masonry. She stands with a fatal, eternal, fraternal, and extraordinary purpose: universal enlightenment, empowerment, and enchantment. Her aspiration in life is love. The people know her as a public figure and highly recommended educator, speaker, and spiritual leader, offering a variety of services and solutions with the eldest Hermetic and esoteric orders. Her worldwide clients range from fellow practitioners, celebrity, military, the priory, and the political party. Please welcome Irena.
Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Somhain Irena Crowley and we are talking about the Majick altar, and you are currently watching the Majick altar course, and we are talking about the three aspects of the altar: the internal altar into the external altar. So the first step to altar magic is understanding the power of center, the center, and the energy of the center. So of course, we're going to start with the image of the pentagram, the image of the circle. Everything in magic begins and ends with a circle and with the pentagram. So once you begin to understand that you are the center, you are the pentagram, you begin to cultivate this power and this energy within self. So what is the pentagram? The pentagram is the head, the hands, the heart, the hips, and your feet. So before you start building big, beautiful altars and lighting candles and incense and invoking spirits, you've got to start understanding who you are as a vessel, who you are as an altar. And what happens in a lot of pantheons, or in what we would say a non-initiate form of magic, is that a lot of people get this backwards. They start with the altar and they don't start with self, because you're not being taught correctly. You're not being taught that you are self. You are then the altar. And even in some of my previous teachings when I was much younger and doing the shaman wood circles, I even, taught from this space at times, because it just simply was easier to teach people from the outside. Of course, we've always taught from the center pillar, but sometimes it's easier for people to learn from the outside in. And if you've learned that way, that's great. I'm not saying that you have to unlearn anything. Use what you have already learned. And if you've studied with me since the beginning of the 777 mystery school and the shaman wood priestesses, then you have learned a lot of different ways. And so what's happening is that we're altering and shifting and expanding on some of these teachings due to my practice as a soul motion dancer. And so as I started moving into the power of dance, I started seeing things from a different perspective. And as I started walking up the staircase into higher levels of magic and going from earth magic into high magic, you begin to learn how to walk away from the altar and become the altar and become magic. Now, in the 90s, I wasn't learning high magic. I was learning earth magic. I was learning what some people would call black magic, or Wicca, or witchcraft. And so I taught what I knew. But as I have expanded and grown as a practitioner, I've really learned how to cultivate who I am as a practitioner and who I am as an altar without having to have the candles, the incense, the oils, the tables, the fabric, and everything that goes into the altar building, the magical tools. I don't need any of those things because I understand the power of the center. I understand the power of the pentagram, and I understand that the magic lives within me. So as you begin to start cultivating this practice, which, this is something I wish I would have known back in the 90s when I first started my journey. I wish I would have known this because I would be such a more advanced practitioner even now. But I didn't, and that's okay. I knew what I knew. And now I have this that I can teach all of you so that those of you who are beginners are starting from a very powerful place. And those of you who have been practicing, for several years can start cultivating into this. And those of you who are at high magi can start focusing on going to the next level. So what happens is that you begin to understand that you are the circle, you are the center, that you are the altar, and you begin to cultivate this in practice. So before we start summoning spirits, before we start invoking or evoking spirit, we begin to fine-tune our vessel, just as a ritual master, just as a practitioner, just as a martial artist. You've got to remember that you are an artist, you are an alchemist, you are a practitioner, and you move your body as magic. Your body is magic and your movements are magic. That's why when you start summoning spirit and doing spiritual work, notice how we go to the north, the east, the south, the west. Notice how we move in a circle. Notice how we are expanding into the power of the pentagram. You begin to learn these motions and how important they are. And so this is the practice. This is where you begin to really get good. This is where, Arjuna Vinmarti of Soul Motion starts talking about the 3 gates, which is what I really love teaching, is these 3 gates, because the 3 gates tune you into who you are as the pentagram and who you are as the practitioner. So as you begin studying, study the formats, study what I've taught you, begin to start practicing in movement and being conscious of your head, which is in the north. Being conscious of your heart and your torso and your hips, which is the center. Being conscious of your hands and your feet, which are east and west and south. Being connected to that energy so that when you start building the altar, you see yourself as north, east, south, west. So that when you are building your altar on your table or on the wall, you see the north, the east, the south, the west. And you understand the power of the altar and the reflection as the altar. One of the most powerful teachings in this work is understanding that your altar is a reflection. Your altar is a reflection of your creation. Your altar is much like a vision board. And when you build your altar correctly from the inside out, that is when you start manifesting on very powerful levels. We are what we create. We are what we think. And when we focus on where our mind is, where our heart is, and how we're connected to the power of the pentagram, we then put that out into the universe. Remember, you are casting from within and out. Pay attention to that teaching as you begin to start contemplating this. So before you start going out and buying a bunch of tools and building altars on a table or on a wall or on the floor, wherever you choose. Begin to start focusing on who you are as the pentagram. Begin to start focusing on the power of your body, who you are as a martial artist, who you are as a dancer, who you are in movement, as we call soul motion, who you are in motion, and how your body moves in the circle and what we call the temenos. So pay attention to the videos. I have placed the temenos video here in the documents. Please go watch that video. Please watch some of the slow motion videos and begin to start moving with your own body and your own current of energy so that you can start getting familiar with who you are as a manifester and energetic practitioner. Be conscious of your head. Be conscious of your hands. Be conscious of your torso, your heart, your intestines, your hips, and your feet. And begin to start practicing every day in the consciousness of who you are as the pentagram. When you're walking along the street, when you're sitting in meditation, when you're resting or sleeping, begin to start seeing who you are as the pentagram and how you are one with the pentagram. And see how the universe begins to respond. Feel your energy. Connect with your power. Connect with who you are as the pentagram and who you are as the center. Develop your center. As we say, the Buddha heart, the demon hands. Connect with your center. Connect with that power. Who are you as center? Who are you as center? Who are you as center? So make sure you go to the Google Classroom. Check out the other videos that are provided there. And after you've practiced for, maybe a week or two, maybe even a month, that's up to you. Then move on to the second level. And we'll go from there. And if you want to just watch all of these videos at once, you're more than welcome to. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. This is Samhain Irena Crowley. Please check me out on social media. You can reach me at the 777 Mystery School. And if you want to speak to me directly and you would like to talk with me or get hypnotized with me or spend some time in my energy and my current practicing with me, you can reach me at Knifler. And I would love to talk to you, hypnotize you, spend time with you, and share the wonderful world of hypnosis and magic.